we've made it to the main event. And what's so cool about this is I get to bring up one of the UNC Charlotte alums to actually I get to sort of, chill, take a little breather here and actually enjoy the interview with the founders of the 704 Shop. So I'm going to bring up Bohavia Phillips, and then she's going to bring up Kristen Scott. So, Bohavia Phillips, indulge me as I say a little bit about her here from this wonderful bio, a dynamic Brooklyn native. Brooklyn's also close to my heart, too. That's right. That's right. Okay. She is rising as a powerhouse in the world of sports, television, and entertainment, making waves in Charlotte and beyond. As a vibrant MC, in-arena host for the Charlotte Hornets, and award-winning entrepreneur, Bohavia is indeed a true trailblazer. With her unmatched energy, she is not only a merchandise mogul, but also a social media impactor. Where she is shaping the culture with positivity and influence, and Bohavia's mission is clear, and I've seen this for years, right? To lead with love and spread a message of empowerment and impact. I love you, and I'm so glad you're here to do this. Bohavia Phillips, everybody.
Oh, I thought we was doing like a Wonder Woman thing. Because of my cuff, I was fully prepared. Praise the Lord. All right, so y'all, I am so excited because this, first of all, shout out to Steve. He gave me the mic, the remote, and I'm like, can't let it down. But I'm so excited to be before you all. Creative Mornings is family. There's so much family I hear in the audience, but I say let's get to it. I'm a proud class of 2015 from UNC Charlotte, all in C. And, I just love all of the history, but what I love is it's not history if it's still happening. And this reminds me of these two guys and all things. What'd I tell you? Where's Steve at? Okay.
Is that Andre?
7, no. So 704 Shop was founded in 2013, but what I love is they are the thread here in our community. From streetwear to even high fashion, you name it, they are the couture of community because through their gift, what they do is they allow us to see that we do better together. We are all in C. We are Charlotte. And I got to tell you all, my brothers, Scott Wooten and Chris Moxley are really like that. Real quick, humor me in reading about how awesome they are. Scott Wooten, born and raised in Charlotte. Scott is a co-founder and creative lead for 704 Shop. Scott moved to Pittsburgh in 2006 for a job and was instantly enamored with the amount of pride here in the city. And Scott, we're honored because you're our pride and joy. So Scott, please make your way. And y'all, make some noise for my boy. Y'all give it up to Scott Wooten. Get it. Says Scott making his way down the stairs. Hey.
I thought there'd be music or something like.
I was gonna freestyle for you, but if you need it. All right. Next but certainly not least, I consider him truly a big brother. When I tell you all, in my own personal life and in my career, in my journey, he's really like that. Y'all give it up for Chris Moxley. Allow me to brag. Allow me to brag as well. He is also born and raised in Charlotte, which is super dope. Chris is the partnership lead for 704 Shop. Chris is an alum of UNC Charlotte, where he first met Scott and became passionate about building culture and community. And I gotta tell you all, even if I don't finish their bios, this is literally who these guys are. It's the heartbeat and it's the heart work that they do. Y'all give it up for my brother, Chris Moxley. Chris to the front. Chris to the front, down the stairs. Hey, Chris to the front. Chris to the front. Pow, pow.
Bow, bow.
All right, you all. So listen, this is 704 Shop. I'm also a proud ambassador. I am on the list of incredible folks and impactors here in the city who are proud to wear the thread of all things 704 Shop. For those who are just meeting you, we have some first-time familiar to all things Creative Mornings, and maybe it's their first time meeting you all as well. Just give us a little bit of backstory about 704 Shop.
I guess that's where I start. I was in Pittsburgh, and growing up here, I always wondered why we didn't have more pride. Everybody said it was boring, and there was nothing to do, and I didn't really feel like that was entirely true. But when I got to Pittsburgh, I was like, it's a little true. Like, I've never been anywhere. Like, they wear black and gold year-round. It doesn't matter. You see football jerseys, hockey jerseys, everything. So really, I was like, how do I take something from here and bring it to Charlotte? So I was living in Pittsburgh when I started this, so I had to hit up one of us is not here, our other party, Jerry, and Chris, these were my college roommates, so they were kind of the foots on the ground to get it started. And I don't know how far you want to go into this. We only got so much time.
We only got so much time, but we're gonna get to the good stuff. Yes, but you know what I love? Also, real quick, shout out to Jerry as well. You know what I love is you took what someone was saying about our city and you bridged the gap. So it was less about what Charlotte isn't doing or what Charlotte doesn't have. Charlotte has something to say, and that's where you all stepped in and became the thread for showing that to our communities. Chris, I want to toss it to you, right? Speak to us a little bit about how was that journey, bridging the gap between culture, Charlotte culture, and community, because they always like to tell us we don't have it here through 704 Shop.
I feel like we've always had it. It just depends on like how you're tapping into it, right? So it's all about perspective. And so for me, and through the lens of our brand, what we're trying to do is find the things to celebrate about Charlotte. There's a lot to celebrate, and I feel like we do it the best. So, yeah.
I agree. Okay. Listen, selfishly agree. Okay, so y'all, I know that you all see the image here, 704. Now let me tell you, if you see any of their current threads, this is the tag on inside all the clothes. It's the logo. I love it because it has a little bit of, it's all in the, it's all together. It comes together really.
I see what you did.
No,
I see what you did.
wasn't trying to do
Okay,
that.
okay. I see what you did.
Y'all. What I was saying was, I love how literally in the logo it all comes together. You all are so intentional through threads. Scott, I would love to ask you this too. Based off of the logo, what it looks like, what it feels like, talk about the intentionality of why you all made it the way that you did.
I don't know that it was super intentional, if you want to be honest. So I used to DJ in a store in Pittsburgh called Shop 412. And I was like, you guys should do this for like all the cities. And they were like, no, we're not really interested in that. They really like sold a lot of streetwear, but then they had like their kind of own brand that was a smaller side of it. And I was like, man, we need something like this in Charlotte. So one day, my brother-in-law and I were talking about it, and I'm like, let me just see if 704shop.com is like available. And it was like $9 or something. I'm like, let me buy that. Let me see if I can come up with the logo. And we kind of sat there for 2 hours, and I had everything kind of exactly the way that you see it there, minus that one little line at the top of the 7. My brother-in-law went to the bathroom, and he was gone a long time. When he came back, he was like, hey, check this out. And he drew that one little line. He was like, now flip it over. And I was like, oh. So if you guys flip our logo over, it's an ambigram, so it doesn't matter.
That's the most epic bathroom trip of all time.
The most epic bathroom trip of all time. That's how you do it. But I love that, right? Because from that grew not just threads, but again, community. And also, you know, with you all going to UNC Charlotte, I think about what that means, all NC. I think about what it means to shape what's next, right? All of our incredible catchphrases and things that are really impactful sayings for those in our community. Look how much you all have grown. I see this photo here with you. Shout out to Jerry. It's so good to see. And you know, it's so funny because one of the talking points this year for homecoming is this idea of coming home. And with the political climate that we just got through, that we're, you know, through together, what does home look like? Through 704 Shop, being in the community, Chris, what is home?
Home, I mean, that's a loaded question. Home to me is safety. It's about community. It's about togetherness. It's about love. It's about building together, right? And so I feel like on the heels of the election, what better, homecoming, the theme of it is so timely right now. For the UNC Charlotte community, we'll be coming home next week. But we're all probably looking for a sense of safety and home in our individual lives. So that's just what I think about in terms of just like next week, the Capitol campaign, For the Love of Charlotte, all of it just kind of comes together in homecoming next week.
That's right, that's right. And home is literally in us. So y'all, please join me in looking at some of these dope images. Again, I've seen these, but it's just to give you all a glimpse of just the energy that 704 Shop carries. Also, shout out to 704 Shop being in the airport. When I take a flight, seeing y'all, I just love it so much.
Yeah.
Show them love, right? I love it. So you all have incredible business acumen. I love watching everybody work. The question is, what does it take for the two of you to maintain successful business relationship for so long? I mean, this is years in this thing. How do you all go about it?
Yeah, so we're 11 years old this year, right? And, you know, as I think about this question, I don't think we make it 11 years without having a clear vision about where we wanted to take the brand and who we are as a brand. We might fight about how to go about doing different things or which direction we're going, but like at the end of the day, Scott, Chris, and Jerry, like we're all pushing for this. We have been pushing for the same things for the longest time. And we fight like brothers, we have arguments, there's times where the chat room is on fire in the, you know, but at the end of the day, I think what helps push our brand forward and our business forward historically is just knowing that these guys are my brothers, right? And that on the heels of every decision that we make, it's the livelihood of our families, right? Like are on the line. And so I think that's the thing that, you know, I've seen businesses fall apart. I've seen where families, friends, fraternity brothers, sorority sisters, and their friendships suffer when the business starts to suffer. And I feel like with us, that's never going to be a thing because the business comes second to our friendship, right? Yeah, and so that's the thing that's going to, I think, give our business staying power for the long term.
Scott, speak to that as well, right? Because it is a brotherhood.
Yeah, he said the main part, like, this could go away, we'll still be friends. Right. Like, we've had the discussion, I don't know how many times, it's like, all right, we're in a hard spot. Like, what do you want to do? And it's like, both of us, it's probably been 10 to 20 times, like, this business can go away, we'll figure something else out. Like, it's more important, the relationship, than like dollars and cents necessarily. So
yeah, that's so good. That's so good. Brotherhood. Okay, let's talk a little bit about, you know, a lot of people say balance. I like to say harmony, maybe rhythm, because this whole idea of balance is estoy loca. So, what has been the challenges of balancing fidelity to your creative vision with the need to sustain a profitable business? So we're talking a little bit about being the free creative, but also running a real business and standing on that business. Scott, I see you rubbing your eye. Go ahead, Scott.
You have to make a lot of concessions because creatively, I almost never get to make the thing that I want to make completely. Because every time that I have tried to do that, it fails because it's a little more forward thinking than people might be ready for. I don't know all of the answers. I can't quite figure it out. Chris and Jerry are probably tired of hearing me complain about, like, we have to dumb this down because if we don't, then we won't make any money. So a lot of times, especially in fashion, if you're not super into fashion, people feel like they can't wear things because it's too loud or it's like, I can't wear that. When in reality, anybody can wear anything that you want. All you gotta do is put it on your body. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, and you're pulling it off. Like, I can't pull it off is not a thing.
Right, that's good. Just put that on a t-shirt. Anybody can wear anything, just put it on your body. And I'd buy it. And you know, Chris, I would love to, you know, for you to answer this as well, the rhythm, right, between you two, the fidelity of your creative vision, as well as running a profitable business.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you do have to make these concessions. I think when you're making those concessions, we try to do the best we can to still be authentic to the brand in the process, and not compromise who we are as a brand in order to be profitable. I think that's really, really important because at the end of the day, the thing that has sustained our business is us having that clear vision around who we want to be, the authenticity of our brand, the brand narrative, the voice of our brand. And so when you're in that, and it's probably for all of the creatives in the room, when you're going through that process of, okay, of compromise, right? Not compromising the core of your brand and who you are in the process of doing that.
That's a gem, honestly, for all the creatives here. You don't have to compromise the creative core of who you are to make a buck. Because guess what? Somebody's going to pay for you being the true version of who you are. You in your bag. One more time. Remember? All right. Now, this was the question, Scott, we talked about. But I say let's do a little remix. Because we're talking all things thematic threads that have run through each of your personal and creative careers. And I think let's just keep it, what is the thread, right? Because the 704 Shop story, we've heard. You all are no stranger to our community. You are loved. But let's really get to it. What is the thread when we talk personal, when we talk creative, when we talk even along the entrepreneurial journey that you two share? Or maybe it's your compass, that North Star, that thread for you.
I don't know that I still understand the exact question.
Just ignore thematic. Ignore thematic.
The thread between Chris and I? Or, okay. I mean, the thread between Chris and I is like we've been like friends 25,
Sheesh,
I don't know, 30, I don't know how long it's been. We've been friends, and like it's just like if you're gonna go to war with somebody, like you want to go with somebody you can trust, and like that's kind of the thread. Like I know he's got my back, he knows I've got his back, and like no matter what happens here, it kind of goes back to the first thing we're talking about, like the business is secondary. So
Let me ask you this, Scott. What is the thread that keeps you coming back to this good work, 704 Shop, and the elevation and scaling of what that is?
I'm sorry, I got distracted because I'm going to shout him out. Andy is our new operations guy. He's all the way at the top, and he's laughing at the question. Can you repeat the question? Because I think he is interested to see what's going to come.
Me too. That's what I'm like.
He is.
So the thread, Scott? Because I know that y'all have a thread, but what's the individual thread?
What keeps me coming back is like I love the creative process, and as challenging as it is and as frustrating as it is sometimes, kind of problem solving that creativity and giving something to people that's tangible, that can represent who they are, what they believe in. I don't know, like it's kind of like a drug you keep chasing. It gets weaker every time, but you keep hoping the next time it's like, that's the one. And you get like one grand slam a year, is the way I put it. Like I might make, I don't know, 100 designs, and like 2 of them might really be the ones that carry the business. So like you just keep holding on, like this might be one of those 2.
It's true, and for all the creators in the room, I'm sure we all felt that, like, this the one that's gonna hit. The next one gonna hit. I've been there too. You drop some content, you're like, this is it. I'm moving my family out the hood. My family's there. But, Chris, I would like to ask you, what's the thread? What's the thread for you?
Yeah, I love the fact that the theme is thread. And the thread for me is, I think about my life, and I was fortunate to be in this room, I guess it was last week when Jim Collins was talking about the flywheel effect. And that's the way I think about my life. People ask me, oh, Chris, how do you decide, you're a part of all of these different organizations, and how do you decide where you're going to invest your time? And for me, it's all about this wheel of positivity and connectivity. And 704 Shop really has always been a vehicle by which we think about community building and community impact and bringing people together in a city that is historically very, very segregated by design, right? And so our brand has uniquely been right at the intersection of people who never would see that they have anything in common. But when they see each other having our brand on, you actually see that you have more in common than you have differences, right? Yeah. And so that's the power of our brand. I really thought about this a couple years ago when I sat down. This is on the heels of the pandemic. We've never really had a mission statement, but on the heels of George Floyd, I thought it was very important for us to actually develop a mission statement, a vision statement, and think about how do we actually not only have the statement, but how do we bring it to life? Like, what are we actually doing to activate our mission statement and our vision statement? And it's really always been about community building and coming together and bringing people together. That's the thread for me.
And I got to tell you, you two really do that. And, you know, I just want to take this time to really love on you two and give you your flowers because I see you all doing the thing, right? Spotlight on, spotlight off. You all are always there doing the good work, whether it's through drafts, whether it's through like even like early drops, all the things. I just really appreciate you two because you are shifting the status quo here in our city. And I'm just so grateful we have you. So shout out to 704 Shop for real.
Thank you for that.
For real. Scott, I like you. I want one. I like this.
So next Friday, we're launching our annual, I guess, Niner Nation collection.
Yeah.
Right? It just kind of lines up every year. But so this is UNC Charlotte traditionally has the same kind of stuff. Like you want to buy a T-shirt, you can get that. You can get a hat. But uniquely designed products is kind of the way that we handle that collection. There's eight products, couple of hats. This, I'm calling it a rugby polo. It's a long sleeve, kind of vintage, meets today look. So there's some sweatshirts, a new satin jacket, 2 hats.
New satin jackets for all of y'all that's been on us about them jackets. Yeah.
So new satin jacket, and then one that I really want to highlight, there's 2 of them. They are short sleeve sweatshirts, kind of made out of the same material. Like this is the same material that you guys have on, but there's a short sleeve. Yeah, they didn't text me this morning, so
I'm sorry, Scott.
I actually don't have the anyway, so we just want to,
Just put on your body, Scott.
I would wear it, I just don't have it because we sold it to other people. What we're trying to do is make unique products that people can be proud of, and they want to wear that is more fashionable. It's not just like Nike slapped an all-in-C on whatever blank shirt that they have, or it's not the same regurgitation all the time. They're unique and they're intentional.
Love it.
You heard what he said. And I got to tell you, the quality is definitely there. This is given, what is this?
So that is a 95% cotton, 5% spandex jersey fabric. If you guys want to nerd out on fabrics with me, I can do it.
Seriously, he is the truth, you all. Scott lives this, and you could tell in the quality and also in all that you all do. Oh, speak to us a little bit about some of these designs as well, you all.
So what you're looking at right here, this was a collaboration that we did with Autism Charlotte a couple of years ago. So this was partnering with a local nonprofit and, really doing a rev share to fundraise, right? But really, more importantly than the fundraising, it was about shining a spotlight on a local nonprofit that's really supporting a huge part of our community, folks that are on the autism spectrum whose voices, in many cases, are not being amplified. And so these designs that you see actually were done by students with autism. And so this was actually Scott's idea. He had been long wanting to execute a project like that where we give the kids the microphone, so to speak, and minor touch-ups on the back end from his standpoint. But the prompt was, what does a crown look like or mean to you? So as you can see, one of them, the one on the bottom actually looks like a crown, right? This is from a student who's more high functioning on the spectrum, but the other one does not, right? It's more abstract. But from our standpoint, it was important to show both and actually bring both to life because it's about perspective. It's not about one way of looking at things. It's not about one way of being. And so we were very proud of this collaboration. We put a lot of effort and energy into it. Yeah. And it was great. Did you want to add anything, Scott, to that?
No.
No? Okay.
Scott is my cousin, y'all. All right, and talk to us a little bit about this as well.
Yeah, so this was our collection that we did with the President's Cup. I'm trying to just make sure we have, because we did some similar designs with Quail Hollow. But for those of you that aren't big in the golf world, so the President's Cup was here in 2022. It's the first time it's ever been in Charlotte. It was a big deal in the golf world, and we were the only local apparel entity to partner with the PGA and the PGA Tour for the President's Cup. So, yeah. This is one of our B2B clients, Movement Mortgage. Scott, if you want to elaborate on this one. Yeah.
So a lot of the behind the scenes things that we do, we don't talk about publicly. Like Movement's one of our biggest clients. I don't know how much time I spend working on Movement Mortgage hats and shirts and clothing and designs. It's probably as much as time as I spend on our own. But they commission us because they're like, hey, we like what you guys do for your brand. What if our mortgage company was an actual clothing brand? And I'm like, yeah, I've been trying to get you guys to like understand that that's what you need to do. And like they got it immediately. So
Yep.
I just kind of pretend they're a clothing brand and not a mortgage company.
Scott.
We got a grant
Place?
for Discovery Place and a collaboration with them to kind of bring their merch up a notch or two. These were two of the designs that we did. They were only available in Discovery Place. I don't know if they still have, this was a couple years ago. I imagine they don't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's how you do it.
yeah.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. Shout out to Charlotte FC.
So Charlotte FC reached out to us about doing a collaboration. What it would look like if we took a streetwear approach to their brand instead of it being so sports related. It's like, what does the streetwear version look like? So I had fun and I created what the streetwear version would look like.
Fire, by the way. Fire. I love that. Hey.
Smitty.
it is-
Steve's the homie, so he asked us to make a shirt, and I'm not gonna say no to Steve. And yeah, you don't say no to Steve.
Never say that. Okay, Duke's Mayo Classic. Hey.
Duke's reached out to us. They're like, what is, same kind of deal, like how do we make Dukes like people want to wear Dukes? So, I'll give it a shot.
This is how you make mayonnaise look sexy.
Put a hat on it.
Put a hat on it. And you know, I think the word that highlights from this question is collaborations, because you all do this so well, so effortlessly. You are so intentional and you bring in the best because you all are the best. What role has collaborations played in building up 704 Shop?
So I think the role that collaborations have played in building 704 Shop, I think it's important for us to first recognize that we've been doing collaborations for a long, long time, way before the PGA, way before FC, right? So I think back to Golden Cow Creamery. I think back to, right, many, many small businesses that you guys are aware of. We've been partnering with small businesses for a long time. So this is just an evolution of who we are. But I see it as a way of extending our brand, but not diluting our brand. Right? I think the thing that's important that I think about when we do collaborations is it should be complementary, right? Our brand partners have their brand and their ethos and who they are, and we have the same thing. And then there's this what I call the crossover effect in the middle, right? And so each of us are getting to introduce our brands to different audiences so that crossover effect, that piece in the middle gets amplified. That's that's the role that I think collaborations plays for us. It's a way for us to grow our business and our audience. But it also, I think Scott would agree with this, like he really uses the opportunity around collaborations to flex his muscle around what it is that we can do operationally. I mean, when I think about the Charlotte FC collection alone, that was a fire collection. That was a fire collection. It was almost all, there we go. Let's make some heat. I like that. It was almost, the first drop was all custom, right? It was not stateside blanks. It was all custom pieces that we make overseas, very intentional, designing from the ground up, from scratch. And it's 6 to 8 months of ideation, prototyping, sampling, and you know, you get what you put into it, right? So, yeah.
Speaking of get what you put into it, we have 1 minute on the clock, right? You get what you put into your community. And when I think about even UNC Charlotte, how they bring us together every year for, you know, Niner Nation Week, I think let's end on this. What role does home Charlotte play even in you all scaling and doing big things in our community through 704 Shop?
Well, I mean, I'm going to take the opportunity and say, I mean, the biggest thing, right, when I think about UNC Charlotte and I think about Charlotte as a big picture, we're in high growth mode right now, right? We have the retail side of our business, but we also have the B2B side, like what Scott talked about, what we're doing with Movement Mortgage. When I look out into the audience, I see an extension of our family, right? We've probably got a lot of business owners. We have business leaders in the audience. So for anybody that's looking to partner with 704 Shop and you would like to see what it would look like for us to help transform your corporate merge, right? For your employees or your internal associates, so on and so forth. Definitely reach out to us. We would love to be partners with you guys and be part of your family, have you be part of ours. So that's what I think about when I think about big picture Charlotte.
Scott.
Ditto. Oh, yeah, for the love.
All right, y'all see it here for the love. Y'all give it up for Chris and Scott. Thank you all for being the best part. We love y'all. Love y'all big one.
Thank
Y'all
you.
check us out at Love
Let me get a photo. I gotta get a photo. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you, man. All right.